Looks good. All right. I kind of want. I was looking through the things we could watch today, and I kind of want to rewatch the video I have uploaded, about 5 hours long, of when I did the Blueberry Slugcat, Serphantheal, INV, Enot, Ninth Slugcat, whatever. I feel like that could be fun to watch. I haven't actually looked through that in a long time. So yeah. Let me...
It's a bit trickier getting the timing for throwing this bomb when you're not in the shelter. When you're in the shelter, you can very consistently kill every single one of them.
This window. Here? There we go. Okay.
When you're coming from... yes, I figured out about...
How's the audio level
because this
of
character can also do it.
the video compared to me?
Hello? Why am I stuck in the hole? What? Get out of the hole.
Alright, see you, Shatter. Is it a bit loud? The video is so quiet?
But yeah.
Really?
The worst stretch of this so far, in my opinion, was getting out of Shaded. Getting out of Shaded with this character is very difficult.
That's quiet?
Those are my roast birds.
I mean, I can turn it up,
although
but...
we could actually just eat my roast birds.
It doesn't look quiet. It's quiet to me, but it's good. Okay.
If there's a big enough clump of it, we need 12 food. They'd probably give, like... I would guess maybe, like, 3 or 4 a piece. Maybe more. That's a good snack.
Yeah, this is
food.
The successful attempts edited together from when I did this.
Clump up so much.
I don't know. I was sick of listening to my really bad microphone.
Is what I was saying.
From
Getting out of
only.
Shaded in pitch black is pretty rough. But we don't need coma until we go to Pipe Yard. All the coma gates, which I guess is only really one coma gate, but okay, there we go, and hopefully it actually works.
In a second, yeah.
I do need to keep my spear, so I can get back to that shelter. You mentioned you shaded lightless with Gourmand. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've done it lightless before. Oh god, they're in the centipede hole. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got out. That's how we got to Industrial. It was just very difficult to do. Shaded here is much... It's not the lack of light that's the issue. It's the fact there were like 4 spitter spiders that you have to get past. The light's not a problem at all.
Stream looks blowy on mobile.
Okay. I think there were 2 centipedes in this hole.
What quality are you watching on? Is it like a bitrate issue?
The second centipede, which is gonna be tough while it's still raining. Actually, there might be 3 centipedes in that hole. I can't tell. But okay.
God, I remember the centipede hole.
We may get stuck in the centipede hole, and we may have to. Okay.
Okay, you know what? Okay. The Shaded Citadel part of this run is absolute shit. I'm just skipping past Shaded Citadel because you can't see what's going on anyway. It's just a dark screen. So we get the Unshaded Citadel mod.
Okay. I don't think there's going to be anything else that's going to threaten us on the way to Industrial.
I mean, Shaded Citadel being dark is a huge part of the issue because you have to go through like 3 or 4 rooms in complete blackness. Get out. Unless you get lucky with a lantern.
Out, the game is actually visible.
Yeah.
We can see what the fuck is going on, which is a huge, huge bonus. We want to rest at this shelter.
Also, I don't mind Shaded Citadel being dark. It just makes streaming Shaded Citadel.
At the next shelter.
Specifically, streaming Shaded Citadel.
Give us a child.
When you don't
have.
have.
Want a child. And once we get a child, we have to protect that child, or else we die. And it's going to be a.
My understanding of children is completely wrong.
Without dying, we can get to Pipe Yard the cycle after this.
The way that I'm talking about children doing this is not correct.
One child isn't, like, super awful. You can kind of deal with one. But if you pick up a second, you're fucked. It's not a single-use, Khalifa. You spawn with a new OP egg every time you rest at a shelter. We have 2 eggs now.
I do have 2 eggs.
What's the goal with this slug? No idea.
I think I'm right.
Also, you're able to maul creatures like Artificer. Okay. Hello, Scavenger. I think the scavengers want my egg, but I don't want to... Yeah, do you want my spear?
I had, like, no information regarding the, this playthrough before starting this. This is why I'm so confused about a lot of things.
Alright. What's the egg thing in my hand? You will see in a moment when I use it.
First time doing INV campaign. This is when I did it for the first time.
Bomb. It is the bomb.
Which
there
was
are not the purple lizards out here.
Like 2 days after it was.
I really want to try to make it past here.
Figured out how to be unlocked.
It's a bit of a trip to get down there, but fuck.
And I wasn't. It's not just my first time doing the campaign.
No.
It's the first time doing the campaign. Like, I was the first person to complete it. This was like right after figuring out how to unlock it.
Saint is pretty cool, but kind of hard. It's difficult, but the evasive, like, the tongue is insanely powerful if you learn how to utilize it.
Completed on video. There's not much point in speculating if there's not
back to the checkpoint and you lose karma,
about it.
If your karma is
like,
above 1. And that's about it. There's not really, dying is not really much of a consequence. Yeah, Saint is very fun to move around. How do you eat popcorn plants in Saints? I believe they can sometimes freeze. Alright, let's try it. What? Where's... The kid's gone. Maybe they... What?
Kid's gone. Best playthrough ever. You're missing all the times that I die during this run, because I edited those out for this. So this is just the successful attempts. Or the particularly amusing deaths. The software I was editing together could only handle, like...
They may be random. That would be
so many hours of footage. Yo, spitter spider.
Fuck, it's on me. We have to do this. Sucks to lose it, but... If not, we're dead.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's not much point in speculating about people that might have done it without recording or streaming it. Like...
Here, eat. 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 Thank you. You thought I was gonna let you get a snack, didn't you? That's my snack. Get back here, bitch.
What cyan lizard?
You know, you're my snack too.
Oh, okay, no, never mind. That's cool. Yeah, so this slugcat does, I think for a lot of this playthrough...
You know, you can have a snack, though.
I had mixed things up.
You can have a snack.
Is that a purple lizard? Yeah, it's a purple lizard. I'm not fucking with a purple lizard. Also, most of the things in this campaign, if you're not familiar with Rain World,
huge problem. Yeah.
they're specific to this campaign. A lot of the
last
things
time
that
I
you
played,
see.
I like soft lock because I had 2 kids and I couldn't farm coma and I didn't know how to get rid of them.
It's very different from the rest of the campaigns.
And I was stuck in a place I couldn't get out of. I don't like that spider being there. It saw me. Alright, let's get this food up here. Okay. I'm also gonna take this. That could come in handy. Okay. I like this. Didn't stun the centipede. Oh, centipedes don't get stunned by debris, that's right. I think he might have heard that.
There was this tree frog outside. The first tree frog I've seen all year. Like a green tree frog.
Better feel for the situation.
My sister sent me like 13 messages and called me when I was streaming last night to try to get me to go outside and look at it. And then she sent me a bunch of pictures of it. God, centipede clusterfucks.
Like, scavenger. He's gonna fuck everything up.
The centipede clusterfucks get unreal for this character. Like, oh, you like red centipedes? Oh, by the way, here's 4 of them in the same den.
Okay, that scavenger really did me a solid there. He threw a rock. And the rock, distracted the centipede. Center wings are death. So we don't have to worry about that one as much. Also, the way that center wings work is... Anytime they see something, they have a built-in, like, fear timer. And after a certain period of time, they will stop being afraid of you. And
basically, what's going on during this campaign
until that time, basically,
is all of the dens are just replaced with the most fuck you hardest enemies. Spitter spiders, red lizards, train lizards, monster kelp, red centipedes.
We can feed ourselves with these vulture grubs.
You also have monk stats, so you deal very little damage. And you have 12 food pips, I think? 11 food pips, something like that. And you have an omnivorous diet, like Gourmand.
They don't hate me. I really don't like the situation that I am in. Is there a shelter on the path to Pipe Yard? Is this spitter spider? I think it's dead. It's dead and... Okay, good. No one sees me, but it's gonna have trouble getting to me. I don't see a drop wig, which is good. Okay. And let's distract this with a bubble fruit. Okay.
Yo, Charmer Flower.
Let's look at our shelter options. So we need to get to 4 karma to get to Pipe Yard.
The reason I want to go to Pipe Yard is because the devs I don't even remember the. They
thought I
like
picked up
just
the
said
spear
they
and you
wanted
walked
somebody
straight
to go to
to the
Pipe Yard. I don't. I don't remember the context though.
There was a spear in the water there. Why? Why did...
Sometimes spear water physics mess up. A little bit annoying.
No spear in here. I want that spear back. Stop. I want my spear. How did that not... Gimme. Give me my spear.
He doesn't want to give me my spear.
Thank
I
you.
want my spear.
Jesus
Okay.
fuck. Where do I actually want to go? To get echoes, to beat the game. What else would I be trying to do? We're also going to Pipe Yard, because somebody mentioned going to Pipe Yard.
Yeah, I remember for some reason when I was doing this, I kept thinking that, there's an eel lizard here? What? Why is there an eel lizard here? What part of industrial complex has an eel lizard in it?
Fuck. Molly. Dead? Yeah, it is. Eat the... Thank you. Did I already go to garbage waste? I have briefly been to garbage wastes. I am not going back to garbage wastes.
I like train lizards a lot. I do wish they were in other campaigns.
I want to hit both of these to be able to... Okay. There we go. Okay. Our meal is prepared. We just have to... We just have to wait. We just have to wait.
God, there's an ungodly amount of waiting during this campaign.
Let's eat this. It's a scavenger. These guys are bad aim. Oh, I got a spitter spider too. Nice. Wait. Is that just a live spitter spider? It is. It's just a... Never mind. I didn't get a spitter spider. There's just a live spitter spider under there. Alright. What the fuck is going on? Scavs might be the easiest source of food. No, we can get food. I don't want to have bad scav rep for the game after this. That feels like a serious mistake. Just trying to take the corpse. The spitter spider is? It's a center wing. Maybe that'll... We have time. We have time. Keyword trying. Now he's just attacking it. I need to eat that corpse. Hey, give that back.
So hold on, now that I think about it, there might be some unlisted videos that I have on my channel. That we could potentially watch.
I might be able to line up a snipe on it. Oh, okay. Another purple lizard came and ate the spider. Alright, we gotta hurry about this one.
I do have some unlisted videos.
I don't know how long this opportunity will be. Alright. We've had our snack. Not a good position to be in. Let me go this way. We have time. We can wait things out. You know, I could also, aside from congregation, to make cover level actually matters. Echoes, right? Gotta have cover for echoes.
Check something real quick. Okay. I think okay. I'm gonna stop watching that video. For some reason, YouTube chat just completely died for the past like 10 minutes or something. I'm gonna try not playing. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna try restarting the stream. Adjusting something real quick. There was a period of time there that was working really poorly. And for some reason, OBS didn't feel like telling me that. So I'll be back in 1 sec. Okay. Hopefully that fixed it. Yeah, for some reason, the stream decided to completely break chat. I could not see anything for like 10 minutes. And also drop a fuck ton of frames without actually telling me anything. So I'm not going to continue watching that because I think possibly a bandwidth issue with watching a video at the same time, or something to that effect. I also can't see OBS as clearly when I'm watching something, so we'll just have to listen to music for now. But yeah, I missed like the past 10 minutes of what was happening in chat. If you had asked me anything, I also went ahead and rebooted the repeater that I use to get an Ethernet connection for my PC. Yes, felt like your keyboard. Yeah, it looked really nice. I didn't get to listen to the sound file that you had sent. I was on mobile and the file didn't embed. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. There's S Control coming by the house to spray tomorrow. And the last time they came, there was a really unpleasant smell in the house for like 3 hours afterwards. Oh, this will be fine? Yeah, yeah. We're not spraying the reptile cages. But it always leaves this unpleasant poison smell. Are they sensitive to it? They don't fall ill, whether or not, like, the smell is unpleasant, I don't know. I mean... They're not spraying the area, like, directly around the tank. Exciting activities, yeah. I had gone out to eat for breakfast with my family the other day, and I don't get the appeal of, like, breakfast foods. Like, the idea of, like, going to a restaurant for, like, brunch and getting, like, omelet, pancakes, waffles. Like, I always just end up being disappointed with them. And I don't mind waffles or pancakes, but brunch restaurants are usually, like, expensive. And I always end up being underwhelmed by the food. I like a good, like, breakfast sandwich, but, at least the place I went to didn't really have a good breakfast sandwich. I had tried, like, chicken and waffles, looked like it might be interesting, and it was just kind of mediocre. Yeah, I'm going to, breakfast should be had at home. I usually just don't eat breakfast. Oh, VFX. Contrary to, marketing schemes, it is not the most important meal of the day. And especially in, well, a lot of breakfast foods are just very sweet, high in sugar, and feel like desserts. That, and I usually don't wake up that early most of the time. Most I'll have is maybe a bagel. I do like bagels a lot. I guess it's 200 hours. I think that's not accurate. While yes, we do around 1,000, a little over 1,000 damage an hour right now, we're going to deal more damage when we get to the core and the top eye. So our DPS there is going to be higher. So the rate that we're dealing damage right now is not going to be the rate that we deal damage over the span of the entire fight. Because the issue with the hands is that we can't hit them consistently, whereas when we get to the top eye, we should be able to hit that a lot more consistently. So our DPS will be a lot higher. The hands are constantly moving left and right, whereas the eye, I mean, it'll try to drift above us, but if we spam teleports like we did with the Retinator, we should be able to keep it locked in a relatively consistent position. I'm just excited to get through the hands, because the hands are probably going to be the worst part. I'm going to a reptile expo next weekend with my sister. I'm excited for that. I don't get to go to very many reptile expos. But, like, there was a point in time where we were like, well, wait, we could just go to a reptile expo. Like, that's just a thing that we can do. Then we looked up when the nearest one that was kind of nearby would be, and it was like 2 weeks away. So we bought tickets, and the tickets weren't expensive. They're only like $15 for a pass for both days. And yeah, I don't know. I'm still torn. Because for the cooking stream, I want to make a chicken pot pie. But there's going to be like 35-40 minutes of the chicken pot pie cooking. In which I can make something else. And it would probably be like a side dish. And I don't know what to make in that time frame. Because I would like to make something to go alongside it. Yeah, the problem with this, with the Moonlord, is, I want to get this done as quickly as possible, but I need to manage my own energy to avoid overexerting myself, which had kind of happened last week, where after doing like 10 hours in one day or something, I had just gotten very tired and wasn't really able to do anything the next day. Which is why I'm not going with the initial plan of like 3-hour streams, because I just don't think that's sustainable. I could do it for a couple days, but like a couple weeks, that's not going to happen. It's awkward because there are a lot of time frames where I'll feel okay for streaming, but it would only be for like an hour. I don't really know if I want to stream for like an hour. I could do a chunk that small. 3-hour cuddles. Sounds a lot more sustainable than 3-hour sitting in front of the Moonlord and staring at him teleport. I like going out and frog hunting a lot. Hey, Bemmy. There are a ton of frogs in the mulch around my sister's house. So a lot of times we'll just go out at night and just look at them. There are tons of frogs, and there are tons of baby frogs hatching all the time. Calamity bosses win. Just in general, months ago when I played Calamity mod, with a lawnmower, never. Calamity bosses are not designed in a way that would be remotely fun to fight with a lawnmower. Nor do I want to do that. I don't really like most of Calamity's bosses that much. Running for lawnmower only eternity mode? Well, you're going to be waiting for an eternity then. Skill issue, your friend Bob did it? Okay, good for your friend Bob. I'm not your friend Bob. I don't care if Bob did it. I'm not Bob. I don't have anything to prove to you. Unless you're a police officer, in which case my response is asking you politely but firmly to leave. Welcome back, Nabba. What day is today? It's Tuesday. I'm gonna put out the trash can tonight. Yeah, as a result, because I had overexerted myself on the 12th, and I basically just crashed on the 13th. I actually missed the last day of the Steam Summer Sale, so I didn't actually buy the games that I wanted to buy. Just kind of forgot about them. You're playing Gorebox and busting people's heads open. Did you miss anything? I mean, nothing really has happened here as far as progress on the Moonlord. What is Gorebox? I've never heard of that game before. Is it just a sandbox game with gore? It's the vibe I would get from the description. Oh, sorry, from the name. You know, I could probably... The thing is... a mobile game about gore and torture people. It's a sandbox. That doesn't sound very pleasant. Yeah. I mean, I could probably do something else while doing this. Like, with the... At least doing the hands, the loop that I'm in now. But the problem is Terraria, like... I would have to have a different PC hooked up, and then that's a whole ordeal trying to... set up a second stream feeding information to this one. Because, like, alt-tabbing in Terraria... Like, I couldn't... Even if I had another game open on my second monitor, I couldn't play it, because I have to alt-tab, and then you can't... Terraria won't continue running. Friend Dr. Rob beat Eternity Mode no-hit, and also only using a golf club. Good for him. Is there a reason I should care? Gets the job done at passing time. It's gonna take forever? Yeah. I don't mind. You guys are the impatient ones. Yo, traveling merchant pack. You for cold beer right about now? I don't really drink beer. Can't really relate there. I don't really drink any alcohol. I don't like alcohol very much. I don't like the alcohol flavor. Makes sense you're European. I don't really see what you being European has anything to do with that. People in America drink alcohol too. When are you gonna get the... What? I don't know what that means, Yuri. Hey, how's no player? Do I have an afro? No. Basically, Europeans are pretty well known for drinking alcohol underage. Oh, well, I didn't know you were underage, so... What prompted me to beat bosses with a lawnmower? It won a poll. Like the background music? Yeah, it's Rainworld soundtrack, specifically the Downpour soundtrack. You're 14. How am I supposed to know that? I don't... Want to win the bosses in golf? I'm going to do the top lawnmower only, because there's a teleporter right next to the top eye. Exactly the same thing we're doing now, that just changed the teleporter we go to. Beat the whole game with just NPC damage. NPC damage only is miserable. It's basically completely non-interactive. And you just sit there and you wait. And that is it. You don't do anything. And it's not fun. 1v1 the bosses in golf? I don't like golf. Mini golf's alright. But golf itself, in the vast majority of the world, is very destructive to natural environments. And it's also just boring. There are a lot of golf courses near where I am, and I hate them. Mini golf, though. Mini golf's the shit. Dinosaur mini golf? I like dinosaur mini golf. Favorite soundtrack in Terraria? I don't know. I'm bad at picking favorites. Deoclops' soundtrack is pretty nice. I beat Moonlord while getting... What? You sound like you're 14 years old, too. Like the Moonlord and the Journey's End soundtrack. The Moonlord soundtrack gets repetitive after fighting him for a long time. I've listened to his soundtrack a lot. You're 63, you have 14 children. Well, I certainly feel for your children that you choose to spend your time shit posting in here. Like the Underground Desert soundtrack. It's nice. It's very heavy. Like it's got a very specific vibe to it. Some of the Otherworld soundtracks are pretty nice. I like the more peaceful Otherworld soundtracks. Like, I think Jungle and Snow have pretty, like, piano-heavy, like, relaxing soundtracks. Those are a nice thing to vibe to. Most of the Otherworld soundtrack, though, I'm not really a big fan of. I mean, the Corruption music goes hard. The regular Corruption music. Can I beat Inferno mode with a broken copper short sword and no armor and no accessories? I see no reason to try. I don't really want to play Inferno mode. People who ask things like that, I feel like either have no concept of what makes something fun, or, getting mildly sick of it, Yuri. I suggest you stop. Either have no concept of what makes things fun, or just think they're funny or original for repeating a meme that's existed for 12 years. Which is some variation of do it with a copper short sword or something that's just slightly more difficult, which I hate to break it to you, is neither funny nor amusing. It is very, very old. The Tundra soundtrack is also your favorite biome in the Morning Rain soundtrack. Tutorial from 1.2. I am the one killing the Moonlord with a lawnmower, but there's a very big difference between killing the Moonlord with a lawnmower, which I've expressed is going to be the last time I'm going to do anything like this, and I'm specifically doing it essentially as proof of concept, and going, oh, do Inferno mode, broken armor, like no accessories, no armor. Like, those two things are magnitudes of order apart. Or orders of magnitude. I don't know, I said magnitudes of order. I like Metropolis Threat a lot. That's what this track is, Metropolis Threat. Yeah, 1.2 tutorial. That would have been on, like, mobile and console, right, Kanon? Terraria has a lot of very nice, relaxing soundtracks.
It doesn't really have very many soundtracks that I would consider to be bad. At worst, they're all right. I can't really think of any that I really don't like. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Crimson soundtrack. Like, it's spooky or whatever, but it's not a vibe to listen to. Old gen consoles now have 1.4? What? When you say old gen console, which console are you referring to? Given that there have now been 2 new consoles since the 360 and PS3. Like Xbox One I would understand, but 360 is not on 1.4. So how does mobile player pure torture? The good thing you can have is lock onto some targets. I know a few mobile players who are very happy with their control scheme. They had to set a custom control scheme. And I think it's much easier, you know, with a larger screen, like if you're on a tablet or something, as opposed to a tiny phone. But I know Neskri. He's, I think, one of the... He's a dev for the mobile version. I think he's a playtester, but... Maybe he was a playtester, then he became a... I forget. We talked about it a little while ago. But he believes that his mobile control scheme is just as good as PC with the way that he set it up. And I know a couple other people that really do a lot of stuff on mobile and have a very good control scheme. I just think the default control scheme kind of sucks. From what I've heard. And the control scheme used to suck a lot more, but then they fixed it and changed a lot, from my understanding. I've never played mobile. This is all secondhand stuff that I've heard. The newer consoles, like the Xbox One and Series X, have 1.4, but the 360 doesn't. Yeah. It's just old-gen console is confusing because it's, at this point, the second old-gen console. Because Xbox One is kind of the old gen now, and then 360 behind that. But a lot of the times, like on the wiki, the 360 will still be referred to as the old gen console, which is just a little bit confusing. Would I hit Plantera? What? What does that mean? You can't get shit done with the mobile, because sometimes when you grapple away, it just randomly stops aiming, goes in a different direction, killing you in the process. Yeah, I think grappling is one of the things that's pretty tricky on non-PC platforms. Because you can't aim with a mouse, which is a big part of grappling. Having, you know, really specific aiming like that. Hit as in smash. I don't play Smash Brothers. I'm not really a big fan of fighting games. Had a lot of friends that have played Smash Bros. In the past. A lot of the guys I would play Magic with in college would play Smash a lot. Had a... I don't know if friend is quite the right word, but I guess acquaintance in college who also streamed. He was another guy that would play Magic the Gathering with our friends. But I never really knew him too well, because he didn't come as often as a lot of the other people, and we just never really connected that much. But I know he would stream a lot, and he'd stream a lot of Smash. Yeah, I'm just not very big on fighting games, all things considered. Well, I assume it's the two people are together in opera. I'm not a child. As I've made it clear to them, if they don't stop, I'm going to just remove them from the circumstances.
Can I stream Hogwarts Legacy? I don't plan to, no. The game's expensive and I don't have very much interest in it. Guide and Smash win. Aren't they done adding characters to Smash Bros? At least the current Smash game. Thought I remembered hearing that. PO is weird because like my friends would like go to like Smash tournaments in the city and things like that. I just hear about them secondhand. Do I know who Azathoth is? Yeah, I mean, I was reading Lovecraft's works on stream a couple weeks ago. I'm sure you don't think so. Oh, I thought I heard references to, like, final characters being announced. Maybe that was, like, with a certain, like, I don't know, season or something. Like, they were done adding it for a period of time. Not too familiar with it. Yes, Navra. I'm familiar with Lovecraft's mythology. Sister's friend accidentally bought Hogwarts Legacy on her Steam account, and it's multiple tens of GBs. What are GBs? I'm not familiar. I'm gonna stream beating Supreme Calamitous for Copper Short Sword tomorrow. Oh, gigabytes. Yeah, okay. I know that GBs are gigabytes, but the way that it was, like, you have to download a game. You wouldn't accidentally buy a game and then accidentally buy its multiple gigabytes. Like, you'd have to download it. The way that it was phrased made me think it was something related to something that came with the game as something that you bought. Okay, see you, Bammy. Ever played any of the Elder Scrolls game? Yes, I have played a pretty good amount of Skyrim. I have played a bit of Oblivion, and I own Morrowind and Oblivion on Steam, but I haven't really played them very much. The Oblivion that I played is, hey, FE505. You know, play Dead Cells, your Warhead's going to be like Terraria when you get started? What do you mean by that? The two games are nothing alike. They're not even, like, remotely similar. Yeah, my sister used to sell video games at a flea market, and I would go help her out with that. And basically going to a flea market, have boxes full of, a lot of the games would be like PS2, PS3, 360, occasionally some Xbox One and things, along with selling some old consoles. And as part of that, she would have to get more inventory, right? You know, going around to people selling old games, buying them, and then having to test them and see if they worked. And my experience playing Oblivion is basically just testing the first, like, 10 or 15 minutes of the game. I don't know, that's fine, Kanon. It was just, I was explaining why I didn't get that it was gigabytes. It's because the way it was phrased made it sound like it was something that, like, you got as a bonus with the game or something like that. My damage goal today? At least 191,000. Possibly more than that if I feel up to it.
Well, for this stream. I don't have an overall goal for the day. I don't know. I don't think Dead Cells is really that complicated. I mean, it's a roguelite. Like, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but the basic gameplay is very simple. You pick up weapons and attack things and progress through the game. And it's very easy to get the hang of. Yeah, shoot, roll, and shoot. It's not like some games like, say, Noida, where it's very difficult to get into. Like, you can pick up Dead Cells and have a good feel for it within 20 minutes. Very intuitive gameplay. But yeah, my experience with Oblivion is playing the first, like, 10 or 15 minutes of Oblivion. Basically just the part in the cell. And then just attacking everybody. The Emperor and all the guards as you escape from the prison. But I'm somewhat familiar with Oblivion because I have seen other people play it. I know the general story and things. I know less about Morrowind. Just because Morrowind's hard to keep track of, a lot of reading. And if you watch somebody play Morrowind, it's, you know, harder to understand what's going on because it's a much more an experience that requires you to be engaged a lot more. But it's not voice acted. And it's a lot less hand-holdy. Yeah. And like I said, I've played a good amount of Skyrim. I had it for the 360 when it came out in like 2011, 2012 or whatever. And then got it on Steam at one point because it was on sale. I think I got the special edition too. Been a while since I played it though. I feel like Skyrim. I want to 100% Skyrim because there were like a couple of achievements that I'm missing in Skyrim, but they're the achievements that are like the really late game things. Like killing a legendary dragon. I think building all 3 of the houses. Something on Solstheim, stuff like that. Stop talking about it, Nabra. You're really just encouraging them. If you haven't noticed, they've been getting timed out and or banned for it. But drawing attention to it just encourages them to do it more. You're looking getting all the Skyrim, you think you need like 7 more. Yeah, well the problem I have is that I have a hard time playing Skyrim for long enough to do a lot of the late game achievements. Because, like, I'll start getting into it, I'll play it, and then I'll just, like, fizzle out by the mid-game. And then just get bored. And then by the time I get back into it, I'm like, alright, well, I just want to start a new character. I don't want to continue the one I was playing. And then it just ends up always going to, like, that midpoint in the game and never, staying interested long enough to finish up the last couple. Stop when you, with your first character, you beat the main quest, you just got bored of it. Yeah. And, like, honestly, the best solution for that would probably just be to, like, download mods that influence things, or just use console commands to, like, buff your level artificially, so you could, just start at a higher level and then get fizzled out, you know, by the time you get to, like, level
whatever fucking level you need to be at to encounter like legendary dragons or whatever. Well, like doing all the Daedric artifact quests. I think at one point I had done it, but like I had downloaded some mod that reworked one of the Daedric artifacts. And as a result, I think it counted as a different item, and I didn't get the achievement for collecting all the artifacts. Because a mod had fucked with something. Yeah, what had reworked? One of the two-handed weapons, because I'd wanted to do a two-handed build, but found the Daedric artifacts underwhelming. Maybe the Ebony Blade. Yeah, it's just very time-consuming. Especially when you know what's happening. Like, going back and replaying Skyrim quests are not very... Like, there's not much variability. And, like, the core gameplay is alright. The combat's not really that great. And a lot of times it feels more like just doing things on a checklist. Like, oh, I need to do the companions quest to get the such and such or whatever. Guess I'll just go through that whole ordeal. I think the goal for today will be 100. Oh, this stream will be 191,000. Felt left out because you never in your life ever watched a video about Skyrim or played it. I mean, you could change that. Like, it's not hard to watch a video about Skyrim. Hey, Setio. I feel like Skyrim is really stretched out in a way with all the quests I'm just feeling necessary. Yes. Skyrim has a lot of issues. Don't get me wrong. I think Skyrim is a pretty bad role-playing game. In the sense that it really does not have good role-playing elements or elements of player choice or things like that. Like, with most quests, you have very little influence on how those quests go. They generally are very linear. A couple of quests have some choices you can do, and it is very rare if a quest will have more than, like, 2 possible outcomes. Like, even if you have a choice, it's generally a choice between, like, one of 2 things. You know, you're basically just a Mary Sue that's good at everything. there's very little element of like speccing into a build, like there are in a lot of role-playing games, because really your choices for your character's strengths are just perk points that you get, which ultimately can be refunded once you hit level 100. The leveling system is very bare bones, and you're able to just basically stretch yourself thin and be good at everything. And basically everybody loves you, and you can just walk up to groups of people and like, oh, the College of Winterhold, the Companions, the Dark Brotherhood, the Thieves Guild. Okay, in basically every one of these stories, without fail. Oh, hi Saint. Within like a week or so, you go from being a complete nobody to just running the entire organization, and everybody loves you. And it requires basically no competency at the skill depicted, or the skill that the guild is the core of. Like, oh, the companions, you have to like swing a sword once at like Vilcus at the beginning, and like that's pretty much it. Also, you're forced to be a werewolf whether you want to or not, in order to complete the quest line. Oh, the College of Winterhold. I don't even think you need to cast any spells, right? Like, there are two situations, I think, in the entire quest where it wants, or any of the quest lines where it even wants you to cast a spell. There's, like, the entry exam, which I think you can bypass with speech or with the main quest. Yo, Shirai and there's, like, the point where you get trapped with the pendant, and I think there are things that can do, like, spell-like effects that can break that. Or, like, worst case scenario, you can probably find a way to clip through it, because Skyrim's so broken. The Thieves Guild doesn't really require stealth at all. You can just walk up and attack people. Let's beat the shit out of him. Most of the stealth is optional. And, I mean, the Dark Brotherhood does require killing people. They do get a pass on that one. The Civil War quest line is just awful. It's really bad. That is, like, one of the worst parts of the game. What if I do Miak, Empress of Light with a wooden bow? I have not played Miak. I don't know what the Miak, Empress of Light does, and nor is that something that I want to do. I don't know what part of when I said this is the last low damage challenge I'm going to do, what part of that led you to believe that I would then be interested in doing more low damage challenges, as I feel like I was fairly clear. This is the last one. That's what I've said. Repeatedly. But yeah, the Civil War quest line is, like, honestly the worst part of Skyrim. It's so bad. It's so incredibly bare bones. Both sides feel like exactly the same at the end of the day. It doesn't really influence the world at all when the Civil War is done. Like, there are slightly different uniformed soldiers sitting at different holds. You know, different people may or may not be in power. The Civil War fights are just incredibly awful. You just sit in, like, a fort and fight waves of just identical enemies. Like Imperial soldiers, Stormcloak soldiers. Do I know DMC? Devil May Cry? So, I have not played Devil May Cry, if that's what you're referring to. The thing you hate about Civil War quest line is at the end of it, there's no bother to fix the houses the other buildings got damaged. Yeah. The Civil War quest basically... it makes some places just look like complete shit. You miss out, DMC is just dumb button mashing. I really know nothing about the game. I'll take your word on it. First time you heard of it, you thought the plastic chair was not a mod? What? I'm not familiar with Devil May Cry. I don't know what that's referring to. But yeah, the Civil War questline just makes, like, Whiterun and Solitude both look like shit. Then they just, like, indefinitely stay in disrepair. And there's really, like, no incentive whatsoever to actually do the questline. The rewards you get are just awful. You don't get anything good for it. The quest isn't fun. It all feels very, like, last minute. Or like they just didn't flesh it out in the way they wanted to. Have you ever played mobile games? Which, if so, which was your favorite? I don't really play mobile games. There was a point in time in, like, college for a couple years where I'd played, like, Fate Grand Order. Just because I was getting into Fate at that point, and it seemed like it could be fun. And then I stopped because it was just not, you know... I feel like after you do most of the main story quests, it's a lot of just repetitive grinding and waiting for events and monopolizing your time. But I don't really play mobile games. But yeah, in terms of actual, like, Skyrim's biggest strengths are the fact that, compared to the previous installments in the Elder Scrolls franchise, the combat is actually, like, bearable, because, like, the combat in Oblivion and Morrowind was really bad. Whereas Skyrim's is, like, tolerable. You know, it's very simple and bare bones, but it's mostly the development of the series in a way that's meant to be accessible to a wide audience. As such, a lot of, I feel like, the nuance and intricacies were left out. And as a result, you get more linear quest lines, very streamlined skill trees and leveling up systems. You have to go watch Skyrim gameplay. I mean, the combat basically boils down to, like, swinging sword at guy, shooting bow at guy, or casting spell at guy. It's not, like, great, but if you watch, like, Morrowind or Oblivion, it's a very different, like, visual experience there. Elder Scrolls 2 is free on Steam. Daggerfall? I did not, but I also don't really want to play Daggerfall. Daggerfall is, like, fucking massive, right? Like, isn't it a just absolutely enormous map? That's, like, mostly empty. I don't think the Elder Scrolls really, like, began as it was until Morrowind, right? Like, Skyrim, Oblivion, and Morrowind are where, like, the Elder Scrolls and, like, all the Elder Scrolls trademark lore and things like that are really on display, whereas Arena was just, basically piggybacking off of, like, RPG franchises that existed at the time and wasn't really very, unique. And I think Daggerfall didn't really get too ambitious with its lore either. And then Morrowind is where, like, the lore and things really started to come in, right? Welcome back, things. You realize at 10k, congratulations. Thank you. 10k means you're going to be doing a cooking stream, but given the timing of things, we're not going to be able to get to that until after the Moonlord's done. So it may be a couple weeks yet. Used to be an adventure like you till I took an arrow to the knee. Things, it's not 2012. I'm sorry. Arrow to the knee jokes have not been funny for over a decade. How do I keep the progress of that fight? I paused the game. Yeah, a good example of Skyrim being streamlined and, like, taking away player agency is the entire Dawnguard DLC. What the fuck? Is that shit? Okay? I sign up to a vampire hunting agency to kill vampires, and my only choice through the entire quest is to befriend and simp for a vampire in order to stop the vampires. Like, no, let me murder the vampires. I don't give a fuck about Serana. Let me kill her. I'm here to kill vampires. I don't care about a prophecy. Bethesda DLCs are trash in general. Yeah, the Soulstime DLC I thought was pretty good. We're talking about Skyrim. Whoops. There should be two choices. The Dawnguard DLC was a huge loop around just to kill Serana's father. Yeah, but, like, regardless of which side you chose, like, I don't know. If I'm role-playing a character who, like, fucking hates vampires and wants to kill vampires, I should not be forced to, like, become best friends, and simp for a vampire, to be able to beat the quest. Like, I'm sorry. All that shit about the prophecy is kind of meaningless when I'm pretty sure you can just, like, go up and bitch slap Harkon as soon as he loses essential NPC status. And, like, you barely even need the bow. Like, oh, he's too strong. You can't kill him. Bitch, have you seen me try to fight him? You don't know that. I can't kill him because the story says I can't kill him. You could write the story in a different way to allow me to actually, like,
hunt vampires as the vampire hunting group. What's your favorite carbonated beverage? I don't know, probably Coke. I don't really drink carbonated beverages much, though. I usually just drink water. But yeah, it's things like that in Skyrim. Like, oh, you're doing a Daedric quest? Okay. The vast majority of the Daedric quests give you, like, no agency. You're basically doing exactly what the quest giver says. And some Daedric quests you can fail or break out of or choose not to, like, kill the person for the artifact or whatever. But, like, a lot of them, I feel like you don't really have much. You just kind of do what the quest says, and the quest kind of writes your story for you. Beat Dead Cells once being at a PS5 and got rid of your progress. Got a boss cell and dead cells. Nice. What build were you using when you did that? Also, did you do Hand of the King? My the first boss cell that I got was through the DLC end boss. The one past the lighthouse, to avoid any spoilers if you're concerned about those. I think the first time I beat the game was with a brutality rapier build. Only have the Bad Seed DLC. I don't actually know what's in the Bad Seed DLC. I don't think I have the Bad Seed DLC. So I don't know. You're just not downloading Dead Cells. Wish you luck when you take your time to get used to it. Good luck. What's my favorite type of cheese? I'm a big fan of mozzarella. I mean, I think it depends on what the cheese is going on. You know? Her combo is Alchemist, Carabine, and Stiletto. I don't think I've seen either of those weapons things. Are they from one of the DLCs? Just basic game. Oh, I think Stiletto is a mutation, right? Is that it? I haven't found the Alchemist's Carbine. Or Carabine. My favorite combo is the Ice Crossbow and literally anything, because the Ice Crossbow is amazing. Whenever you eat cheese, you eat it carbonated and filled with mayonnaise. Seek help. Seek help. The stiletto is a dagger? Huh. No, I've never seen either of those weapons. You got both of those without beating the game once? That's what you beat the game with. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I haven't seen either of those or found the blueprints for them.
What rare items am I familiar with in Terraria? I don't think there is an item in Terraria that I am not familiar with. I guess it depends what you define as familiar, but... I mean, I don't know, like, a lot of the specific music boxes that you craft with, like, the other music boxes. And, I mean, if you're talking things like the fucking, like, rainbow golf ball or things like that, I just never really make them, but I'm aware of their existence. What's the rarest statistically item? What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean rarest statistically item? What is... statistically how? You can't measure how many people have an item. Like, that stat doesn't exist. Rarest item by drop rate. The easy answer is just slime staff. I don't know if anything has a lower drop rate than that. I can't think of anything. Coin gun? No, coin gun drop rate was doubled in 1.4.4. Pretty sure it's above slime right now. Slime gun now. Slime staff now. I mean, if you consider, like, drop rate as a, like, oh, a chance of an item being dropped in place of another item, I mean, dirtiest block is... If you consider the number of dirtiest blocks in the world out of the number of dirt blocks in the world, I think that would probably win that. I don't think the Bloody Machete is actually that, like, statistically low of a drop rate. It's mostly that the circumstances required for it to drop are very unlikely. I've played New Vegas. I briefly played New Vegas at one point, maybe for like half an hour at a friend's house. Didn't really get into it very much. I think Slime Staff is what, 1 in 10k on Classic, 1 in 7,000 on Expert. And I think Coin Gun is what, 1 in 8,000 on Classic? Maybe 1 in 4,000 now. Because they doubled the drop rate of all of the pirate items in 1.4.4. One in 1,000? No, that's not right. You're an order of magnitude off. Doesn't consider there's any spawn rate and item drops from slimes not super rare because slimes spawn a lot. Yes, but it's also a 1 in 10,000 drop. And again, they did not say the rarest item in the game. They said the rarest item statistically by drop rate. And I don't think anything has a lower drop rate than the slime staff. And the dirtiest block isn't really a drop rate, because it's not... Dirt has a chance to drop it instead. There's a number of them put in the world and they look like dirt. When I drink milk, do I drink it? I don't understand the question. That seems like a redundant question. I don't really drink milk. As the general thing. At most, maybe I'll have like a glass of milk with something like a cookie or a brownie or something. Set them out in the world. Yes, that's what I said. Hot or warm, I don't drink milk. If I do, I would drink it cold. But again, I don't drink milk.
1 for small, 2 for medium, 3 for large, and then 5 on a special seed. I think those numbers are low. I think you're underballing the number of dirtiest blocks that exist in the world. I thought it was more like 3, 5, 10 or 3, 5, 8 or something. Yeah, this is what you're talking about, Rumilia. That's why, like, the Rod of Discord is a lot rarer than a hollowed key. A lot of times people will get many more hollowed keys than they will Rod of Discords, if they're farming for a Rod of Discord. Despite the Rod of Discord being a 1 in, 400 drop rate on Expert, and hollowed keys being a 1 in 2500, just because you can get the hollowed key from any enemy, whereas the Chaos Elementals are not particularly common. You swear to God you tried Legendary Zenith Seed and almost split your wrist? I would recommend seeing a therapist, as you seem to be very unstable. If something like that would drive you to suicidal tendencies. What's the drop rate for the Rod of Harmony? The Rod of Harmony does not drop. It's 100%. The Rod of Discord is what you make the Rod of Harmony with when you shimmer it. And the Rod of Discord is a 1 in 500 drop rate on Expert, 1 in 400 on Classic, and 1 in 100 on Celebration Mark 10 or the Legendary. Oh, sorry, not Legendary. On Get Fixed Boy. You put a drink it mixed with soy sauce and brownies, mixed in it, but not then with cookies. You have a very specific sense of humor, JJ, of presenting something normal and then just making some strange bastardization of it. This has to be a troll? I mean, that's fairly... They're making a joke. Nah, bruh. Yeah, I never get the Rod of Discord, though. I would never farm for it, and if I do get it by chance, I would just throw it in the trash because it's a trash item. Sometimes I think it's a bit too deranged to be a joke. They just put a bunch of words that would very obviously be disgusting to describe how they would drink their milk. I mean, is that weird? You ever farm for anything other than keys? Oh god, I would not farm for keys. The dungeon loot is not worth it. I don't really farm for anything. But especially not the Rod of Discord. Because it sucks. It's a clutch item. If you need the Rod of Discord, you're really just holding back your ability to learn and get better at the game. And if you don't need the Rod of Discord, then why waste the time getting it? You only ever farm for the Daedalus Stormbow to beat Destroyer. Was this back in 1.3? This was last month. Okay. The Daedalus Stormbow is not good for the Destroyer anymore. Like, it's not, like, a good Destroyer weapon. It's okay. But the Stormbow has not been, like, a Destroyer cheese anti-Destroyer weapon for 3 years? A little over 3 years. Like, it's fine. It'll kill him, but... Holy Arrows got drastically nerfed, which was the main part of the Stormbow combo. And it's really not that good for the Destroyer anymore. It's, like I said, fine, but... You just use Ichor... You used the Stormbow with Ichor arrows for the Destroyer, and you specifically farmed for the Stormbow in order to get an anti-Destroyer weapon, and then you used Ichor arrows with it. Why? What? Why would you use Ichor arrows? And not even, like, Unholy or Gestures or Hellfire?
Or even holy arrows. Be better than Ichor. Star Shooter's great, yeah. Super Star Shooter especially. Hold on, I think we ran out the soundtrack here. Actually no, we didn't. Couldn't get holy arrows because your hologram was messed up. Yeah, but like Jester's arrows, Hellfire arrows, Unholy arrows. Like, the Stormbow itself is not good against the Destroyer. Holy arrows were what's good against them, but like they're not good anymore. The Stormbow with holy arrows is not a good Destroyer weapon. You're much better off using like Unholy arrows, which you can buy from the arms dealer. But yeah, the Destroyer is immune to Ichor. You'd be better off just getting like an Onyx Blaster with like exploding bullets. It seems weird to farm for the Stormbow because it's not. What do Unholy arrows do? They pierce. Oh, it's always been good, Vermilia. The Tomb of Infinite Wisdom absolutely annihilates the Destroyer, as does the Star Shooter and Super Star Shooter. Basically, your best anti-Destroyer weapons for each class. Free mech bosses is going to be the Star Shooter for Ranger, followed by probably a Dart Rifle with Cursed Darts. For melee, it's going to be the Drippler Crippler. Drippler Crippler can kill a Coiled Destroyer in 2 hits with an optimized build. Realistically, you can chunk out a big amount of its health and it does a ton of damage. Your game is refusing to do... you haven't killed Plantera. Your hollowed key says the words, it's like... it's been sealed by a powerful jungle creature or something. You need to kill Plantera first. As Summoner... Free mech bosses? I would go for... probably Abigail. But honestly, I would just do Destroyer post Twins. And then just use the Optic Staff, because Optic Staff's really good against the Destroyer. And as Mage, pre-mech boss, I think Meteor Staff's probably your best choice. However, once you get post a mech boss, Ranger gets access to the Super Star Shooter, which absolutely eviscerates the Destroyer. The Star Shooter is very good, or the Star Cannon is very good against the Destroyer. The Super Star Shooter is ungodly effective against the Destroyer. As Mage, you get access to the Tome of Infinite Wisdom from the Old One's Army, which has an alternate fire that shoots out a very high damage, infinite piercing shockwave that absolutely melts the Destroyer. As Summoner, you get the Optic Staff, which does just tons of work against the Destroyer. Optic is good, but Imps are alright. I would not use Imps against Destroyer. They do have infinite piercing, and that is solid, but their base damage is low, and you can't really give whip support very well against the Destroyer. But they can be used to good effect. They're just janky. And Destroyer's also immune to on fire, so you lose out on that part. And as melee, your best option is still the Drippler Crippler. I mean, Drippler Crippler puts in work. Followed by probably Gungnir. I think Gungnir is pretty solid against the Destroyer. Use Spiders and Frostwhip to spam in the right spot. The Spiders and Snowflakes hit every part of the Destroyer. I assume you mean a Coiled Destroyer? Like, as soon as he spawns? Like, you spawn the Spiders on top of where he's packed in one spot. There are a lot of things that can do that. Blade Staff actually has infinite piercing and is another good way of doing that. Knight's Edge is also alright. No, it's really not. It got nerfed in 1.4.4.6. It used to be against the Destroyer in 1.4.4 proper, but after it got nerfed, it's really not alright for the Destroyer. Drippler Crippler good for Mechdusa. I would not use Drippler Crippler against Mechdusa because while it will kill the Destroyer pout fairly easily, it is not really going to have good range for the other two sections, and it's difficult to get up to the destroyer with Skeletron Prime and the twins on top of you. If you have a good setup to like teleport in or Rod of Discord out, you can get in and chunk damage, but I would prefer something with more range. What's the easiest method to defeat the twins? An asphalt bridge is extraordinarily effective if you've killed another mech boss first and have access to the steampunker. A gravitation potion that you drink and just go up and down is going to dodge 90% of the twins' attacks. Once you get down to Retinator second phase, you can just sit in a box and he can't shoot you. If you have an array of teleporters with a box around them, I have a video called Cheese All Bosses, and there's a short on my channel that shows it off for the twins specifically. Basically, if you have an array of teleporters, you can teleport between them, and if you have something that goes through blocks, you can attack them, and they're basically unable to hit you. But as for, like, the easiest method to set up, if you just get a couple gravitation potions and drink them, you'll dodge most of the twins' attacks on automatic. How long does it take for that to kill the destroyer things? Kind of hungry. I'm gonna get a snack. I'll make some pizza rolls, make a bagel. I don't know. Got a lot of options. I played Stardust River. No, that mod is not finished. I'm not going to play it until it gets finished. My favorite type of chocolate? I don't really like chocolate that much. I don't like dark chocolate. It kind of depends what kind of mood I'm in, but in general, I don't really go for chocolate very much. Yeah, but I know the mod you're talking about, Nava, and no, I'm not going to play it until it's finished. Thought it was. It is not finished. It was released on Tmod Loader as in like a beta state, but the mod is not done. They are still working on it. I don't want to play it until it's finished. Did I play Subnautica? I played it, but I haven't finished it yet. I played it on stream, like a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna play it more off stream. I'm probably not gonna stream it again.
you know, I mean, generally, it would be very unlikely I would play the mod. Did I know that they have announced they're making a third one? I did not know that, no. Yeah. It's unlikely I would play a mod more than once. Never gonna have a fear of the water. That's understandable. It's, I imagine if you suffer from, phobias of the unknown, I don't know what that is, Napa. Nor should you elaborate on that, because that's spoiling things that I haven't encountered in the game, as far as I know. But yeah, I imagine a lot of... I mean, it's definitely a very spooky game. I didn't really get spooked out by it. Not really that afraid of it. I thought most of them were kind of cute, but it definitely does. It is a horror game, in a lot of respects. It's legit one of the most horrifying things you've seen. Well, you should shut up. I don't know why you would elaborate on that after telling you not to talk about it. Like, you don't get the last word in. If I say not to talk about it, don't talk about it. It's pretty simple. Alright, I think I'll go down to 500, and then I'll probably call the stream there. I'm getting kind of hungry. So 190, 500. That'll be a cutoff point. We're, relatively soon, we're going to have to switch hands that we're attacking. You know, probably sometime in the next day or two. Does that do like 2 damage every teleport? Yes. Wow, that death ray clipped me there. How did I get down that much HP? We've been doing this for quite a while. And we're going to continue doing it for quite a while. Alright, 121 to go, and then we'll, take a break. This might be a 3-stream day. I'll see how I'm feeling. Alright, see you things. Yeah, I'm not gonna be streaming for too much longer anyway.
Patience. I do quite a lot of it. Stream tomorrow. I'm pretty much going to be streaming whenever I feel like it. Given the amount of time that this is going to take, like, I'm not setting a schedule. I'm just, whenever I feel up to it, I'm going to be streaming. I can say when I'm not going to be streaming. Thursday night, I have plans, so I'm not going to be streaming Thursday night. Saturday and Sunday this weekend, I'm probably going to be busy for most of the time. I probably only do like one stream a day during those. Because I got a reptile expo that I'm going to, and my dad's coming to visit. So I don't know how many chunks of a couple hours I'll have during those days. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, I should be streaming pretty frequently, and even on Thursday, it just won't be that night that I'm streaming. I get kind of hot in my room. I'm gonna turn on the AC. Alright, 41 damage. You knocked enough sleep yesterday and you can't sleep during the day. Unless you've had an all-nighter. You're pretty tired, might go hang out to pass time. Alright. Have you tried things like melatonin or other supplements like that? Might help you get some sleep if you have trouble with it. Alright, 9 more damage. Usually watch YouTube videos about how to sleep, then you can sleep. I was never slept during the day. Okay. 190497. Okay, I will be back later today. Bye, everyone.